long, has missed more games than Kyrie Irving. I just don't understand how getting someone of his caliber here is going to help us win now. It's not a guarantee. And Kevin Love, I don't know if I could see him growing with LeBron. I mean, he's not hit his ceiling, he's not hit his peak, but I don't think he can necessarily grow compared to what Andrew Wiggins could playing with LeBron over years and years of time. You know, I want to hear your opinion on this and your listeners' opinions on really what they want. I don't know if we have a poll up somewhere or if we could do something with that, but if we could get a vote going of what the fans want here in Cleveland, I'm not going to lie, I tweeted Dan Gilbert and said if you trade Andrew Wiggins and Bennett, Cleveland will hate you, and that's my personal opinion. I know we won a championship, but we could win it with the team we have. We just have to grow. All right, guys, take it easy.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live here on the Sports Fix Radio Network. Thanks for the phone call there over the weekend. And no, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. I mean, Cleveland's in the what LeBron wants, LeBron gets mentality, man. I mean, seriously, already. Like the fun part, in my opinion anyways, the fun part of that story is definitely the worm turning a little bit. But, I mean, I've seen it. Pointed out in article after article, exact quotes, what LeBron wants, LeBron gets in Cleveland. But listen, let's calm that thing down a little bit right now, because what that is, in a lot of ways, I think, is a media narrative being done to create discussions that I'm not trying to have right now. I definitely am in agreement with the caller there. Welcome back into the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you here, 216-539-7535. If you want to call, 216-539-7535. Hit us up, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixcle. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. I'm in agreement, too, that if you want to make a trade, now listen, I actually do think Kevin Love would be complimentary to LeBron James. I've mentioned that before. I am not sold on what Kevin Love can do as far as on a playoff team, because I'm going to make the same arguments that people make about Kyrie Irving, which, by the way, I have not looked that up, but if what that caller said was true, then he's missed more games than Kyrie Irving from injury. But it's easy to be a stat stuffer on a team that's got nothing else happening. And it's the same argument that people have made for Kyrie Irving. Now, I do think that Kevin Love is a bit more than just a stat stuffer on a bad team, but do I know how much? I don't know. And I'm all for getting him. But why now? Why? First off, that you can put that away. I had people hit me up all weekend. I mean, like every couple of hours I would get hey, anything new on Kevin Love? No. And there's not going to be, because I got to tell you, I think the Cavaliers and the Warriors are sitting tight on this thing. Nobody's going to sit here and rush off. This is Minnesota trying to run up the value on this. I have no idea what you're talking about in the chat room over there, Bruce. That argument makes no sense to me whatsoever. Nobody can have differing opinions about things, apparently. So the gospel says that Kevin Love is who you need, so go get him, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really here to make that argument. The point is I'm not here to give away Andrew Wiggins. I'm not here to give away back-to-back number one picks and 2 more number one picks to go. 4 number one picks for a guy. You can tell me what you want about Kevin Love, but is he worth the value of 4 number one picks? I don't know that I would trade 4 number one picks for LeBron James. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm all right, maybe you would consider that one, but I'm just being serious here. Let's square the argument right. Why are we making trades in July? Why are people saying these things have to happen now? By the way, you can forget that. Andrew Wiggins is getting ready to sign his contract. The only reason that he hasn't signed his contract yet is because the Cavaliers were sitting tight because of the salary cap moves. They can frame Wiggins' contract in a couple of different ways. They can frame some other draft picks. So they're sitting tight. They technically haven't signed Miller yet. They haven't done a couple of other salary cap things because everybody will fit in like a jigsaw puzzle in a certain way. So the agreements are made. It's just the actual execution of the contracts has not begun yet. But when once you lock in Wiggins, then you cannot trade him. By NBA rules, you cannot trade him for at least 30 days, which will give you until training camp. Everybody needs to calm down, and that's what I think needs to happen. It may be can put together a package. And, hey, maybe after watching the first half of the season, then you decide that you want to trade Andrew Wiggins. I'm telling you, I'm not going to go so far as to use the Scottie Pippen word. I'm not going to be that guy. But I'll tell you what, go read some scouting reports of Scottie Pippen before he became Scottie Pippen, when he was a gangly guy coming out of a smaller college that had incredible athletic potential and no basketball IQ, so to speak, and no refined offensive game, and his long arms and his defensive skills and his ability to drive to the hoop athletically were what made him the prospect of being what he could be. But he developed all the rest playing alongside Michael Jordan. I'm telling you, those are the reasons that I get excited, and not just what I hear, but what I see when I see him play. It's exactly that description that I gave. An incredibly unrefined offensive game that needs work, but an ability to get to the hoop at already an NBA level. That's not something everybody has. And the ability to defend. And those two things, with his length and his athleticism, I keep jokingly saying all he's going to have to do is catch lob passes from Kyrie Irving and LeBron throughout the rookie season. But all joking aside, that'll probably be 60% of his offense right there. Fast break points, getting ahead, making the crowd ooh and ah with the dunks, meanwhile covering up the deficiencies in that game. I'm telling you, defensively, if you know the game of basketball, the thought defensively of LeBron James and Andrew Wiggins defending the wings together, it should be shuddering if you think about it, because that's locked down as far as the team's wings and offensive threats there, man. And all I'm saying is the same thing I said last week, and I think this is where the Cavs are. The media needs stuff to talk about. Not enough reps have happened yet in training camps yet. They're running out of things to dig. So Johnny Football hasn't taken a weekend picture in 2 weeks, so media don't know what to do right now. So they have to force a trade in Cleveland right this very second. And meanwhile, all Minnesota's doing. I'll tell you what was so funny is over the weekend, when people were hitting me up about this, I got a hold of somebody inside the Cavaliers. And it was point blank told, of course, the Cavaliers are talking to Minnesota. That's legit. But when they, and I'll tell you, was it News Herald? Bob Finan was who dropped it. Oh, the Cavs have added Andrew Wiggins to this, according to a source of mine. They've opened him up. Meanwhile, I had the Cavs telling me, no, they hadn't. And that was a story put out there. And it turned out, we saw it over the weekend. There were stories planted, accusing Minnesota of doing it, of planting these source stories to try to drive up the market, because they think if Wiggins is in, then Klay Thompson will get added, and then all of a sudden they can get what they want. And meanwhile, I think Cleveland and Golden State are sitting back and realizing what's going on and going, hey, you know what? We win, you lose at the end of the day. The longer the clock ticks, you are only going to keep Kevin Love until the end of this season at the very, very latest. And then somebody's going to get him. So the more you wait, to me, the more the leverage is on the other teams and off of Minnesota, because I don't see a Portland situation coming up, because I saw some people speculating about that maybe they can make a run and convince Kevin Love to stick around if they make a run like Portland did when they convinced Aldridge. And I'm like, no, I don't see that coming. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong about that. I don't see it coming. And I just think that at the end of the day, the closer you get to the trade deadline, the closer Saunders and Minnesota feel they're going to lose him for absolutely nothing. And at that point, all of a sudden the bidding changes. And there's no way. You look at some of these various packages for the Stars. Some teams bend the other team over, and some teams it's the opposite. They give guys away for nothing. It really depends on who's smart enough to wait out the leverage the most. Let's sit back and see on this, I'm telling you, the deal only gets better for the Cavaliers the longer they wait. Period. And meanwhile, in the meantime, you learn more and more every single day that goes by, not only about Andrew Wiggins, but about Anthony Bennett as well, and this team and how they start to play together and how they start to gel together. To me, the only way you can do this wrong is if you were to jump and make a move now. And I keep going, man, it's July. Why in the hell are you guys trying to make trades in July? I mean, I get it. Everybody's in it. It's like being addicted to drugs. You know, you get that big high with LeBron James. It was like, now that's the super high. Like, whew, what's next? Come on, give me something next. Give me something next. Relax. Enjoy your LeBron James for a while, because the Cavs are going to sit tight. The Cavs are going to sit, and they should. The only time the Cavaliers should jump and panic in the month of July is if they get a phone call from Minnesota that says, here's what I've got right now on the table. You've got 5 minutes to answer or I'm making the trade. Then start panicking in July. Otherwise, sit tight. Get to training camp. See what happens. I mean, really, see what happens. Just the little bit that you've seen of Andrew Wiggins is enough to show you both sides. It's enough to show you what he could turn into, and enough to show you that it's going to take you 2 or 3 years to get him to the finished product that you'd like him to be. But, man, I'm telling you, if you think that means 2 or 3 years of a tomato can and playing alongside LeBron James and then he's just going to blossom into a player, you're nuts. That's 2 to 3 exciting years of growth along the way of getting him there. It's not exactly like we're putting LeBron on the shelf for 2 years and wasting the prime of his career. Either way, I think you can get Kevin Love, and I like Kevin Love. I do. I like his game. I'm just not, man. Let's add. Kyrie Irving already doesn't play defense. Kevin Love. Let's get rid of a guy that plays defense for a guy that doesn't. Man, like, I'm all about getting Kevin Love if we can acquire him for a price that works, or figure out a way financially to finagle the salary cap and make it happen in free agency. I know that's very unlikely, but who the hell knows? Other teams figure out. I mean, hey, you know what? Who says it's unlikely? If Dan Gilbert decides to pay the luxury tax next year, then he can just go over the cap and sign whoever he wants. He can sign half the friggin' NBA, man. I mean, I'm just saying, there's options out there, but Cleveland wants you to, they want you to make this trade in July. Like, and I mean fans, they're like, we got to do this now. Championship's in the balance. LeBron might walk away next Tuesday. I don't think the out clause is that soon, guys. But see, you know what? And everybody's happy LeBron, happy LeBron's home, welcome home LeBron. That's the downside of this BS contract thing. I was telling a buddy of mine last night, I said, if I was Dan Gilbert, I'm glad LeBron's coming back and all that, but this whole letting the tail wag the dog thing is nuts. You might be able to sign a 2-year contract with me with an out clause financially so that you can take advantage of the CBA, but you could bet your bottom dollar me and Mr. James would have an agreement behind the scenes that this is strictly a financial thing, man, because I mean, whether you want it to or not, you sit here with this stupid situation where everybody is trying to force everything to happen now. And if it does, and I swear, we've time warped back to 2008 and 2009 and 2010 all over again. Hurry up, make LeBron happy or he might leave next year. I keep saying to my friends that say that, I go, well, why bother with that stupid Sports Illustrated article then? You could have just not said nothing. You're LeBron James. You could have not said nothing. People would have just went, oh, okay, he's playing for the Cavs. But, you know, I just think people are nuts. I don't know. But I could be wrong. I read an article by Grantland the other day about how LeBron James is the king of the Cavaliers and the de facto owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers now. And there was so much truth that I'm going, man, I don't know, man. It's all smiles and season tickets selling out in 8 hours now. But anyways, this is the position that I think it's silly that we're even in, that we're talking about this stuff right here, right now, in the month of July. I think as the Cavaliers sit, young guys and Mike Miller and James Jones and LeBron, as the Cavaliers sit now in the East, that's a 55-58 win team right there. Maybe 60. I'm just saying. Look at the team in 2007 that LeBron and the Cavaliers they went to the finals. And compare that to this team here. This team here is better. I'm not saying the other teams in the East aren't better. I'm just saying this team, as it's currently constructed, is better than that team was, in my opinion, that went to the finals. Sasha Pavlovic and Larry Hughes, those guys. Remember them? Starting for the Cavs in the NBA Finals. But again, let's have this conversation at the trade deadline. Let's not have this conversation now. Stupid, silly, driving up the price, man. I mean, who walks into a car lot and the guy goes, hey, I want $10,000 for that car, and they go, okay, buddy, let me write you a check. I mean, but that's what some fans want the Cavs to do, because you have to. I don't know who created that word, you have to, but some people seem to believe it's true. What we have to do is get out of here, because we're